Okay, so some terms to be familiar with as we look at the results of CASI's standardized test scores. The first one is a raw score. So a raw score is going to be the actual or unaltered score achieved on an evaluation. So no changes have been made to this score. It's just exactly what she got right. A standard deviation is something else to be familiar with, and a standard deviation shows us how spread out numbers are from the average. So if standard deviations are small, that means the majority of the scores were close together, and if it's larger, then they were farther away from the mean. It's also going to tell us how close CASI score is to the average score. So for example, if we say she is 2 standard deviations below the average, that's going to be an area that she's lacking a little bit and we're going to want to focus on. There are also standard scores or z-scores to understand, and this is just showing us how many standard deviations a score is from the average. It's going to help to normalize data and make it easy to compare to other scores. We will also look at percentiles. This shows us where a score falls in relation to other scores. So for example, if you're measuring height and you say someone falls in the 80th percentile, that's going to mean that 80% of people are shorter than them. Also important to understand age equivalent. So this is when we will compare Cassie's score from an evaluation to the scores of other children her same age. Or we can also look at her score compared to a different age group and modify that score to reflect what that score would have been if she would have taken it at that age. The last thing to understand about looking at standardized tests is a confidence interval. It's usually expressed in a percentage, and it's going to tell us the range of scores that will most likely contain the average of the population or the data set on that exam. And I guess the last thing to understand is the difference between medical-based occupational therapy and school-based occupational therapy. So in medical OT, it's going to be led by the child's physician. You're going to have a referral from that physician. And it's going to focus on promoting health and function of the child and their occupations and their daily activities. While school-based OT is going to be led by the teachers, and that's where the referral will come from, and will focus on helping the child participate in the classroom and in their education and then prepare to enter in society.